WWE Executive Chairman Vince McMahon reportedly makes significant changes to the opening segment of last night's Monday Night Raw featuring Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, as well as the opening 30 minutes of the show. Details on what they were, plus Logan Paul is officially in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match in July. Details on what the celebrity superstar could be doing in London in the UK at the Money in the Bank Premium Live event. Trish Stratus is also in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match too. Details on that. Tommaso Ciampa makes his return to WWE television on last night's edition of Monday Night Raw. Johnny Gargano has opened up on missing last night's Raw in Cleveland, Ohio, of course that being his hometown. Big Swole has criticized WWE for their booking of her husband Cedric Alexander, and Gable Stevenson opens up on his desire to return to the NCAA. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of World Wrestling Entertainment. Let's start off talking about Monday Night Raw last night and several changes for last night's episode on the USA Network. Of course, last night's Raw kicked off in explosive fashion with Finn Balor delivering a beatdown to WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins. However, that may have not been the original plan for the opening segment of Raw, because the opening segment of the Red Brand show reportedly received some drastic changes before the show aired. According to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, Vince McMahon made the changes remotely, with the opening of Raw apparently bearing the brunt of his attention. Balor's attack came after Rollins made his entrance to open the show and to presumably kick off his open challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship. But before anyone could answer the challenge, Balor ambushed Rollins and subsequently hit him with a coup de grace 3 times. The show emerged from a commercial break shortly after, where Balor continued his attack backstage. The rivalry between Finn Balor and Seth Rollins traces its roots back to 2016 and the introduction of the WWE Universal Championship, where they faced each other at SummerSlam to crown the inaugural champion. Although Balor won, he was injured and forced to relinquish the title the next night. Now, the two men will face off for the brand new WWE World Heavyweight Championship at the upcoming Money in the Bank Premium Live event. The rivalry has turned intensely personal after a segment on last week's Raw, which saw the crowd nearly drown out a promo from Finn Balor as they continued to sing Seth Rollins' song. Now, as far as the reasons behind Vince McMahon making those changes, Dave Meltzer has provided a bit of an explanation as to, again, why these changes indeed did happen. On the Wrestling Observer radio show, Dave Meltzer revealed the logic behind the late decision, saying, quote, "The open challenge was supposed to happen until the last minute. Vince changed. The first 30 minutes of the show, I heard, was totally changed. Vince really wanted this. The whole Seth Rollins angle with Finn Balor, I think he just wanted something big, something bigger for Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, just to heat up Finn Balor. To be fair, I know people who are there who told me, look, as far as the 30 minutes that Vince put in, it was better than the 30 minutes that was taken out." So the question I give to you is, was Vince McMahon right? Of course, we don't really know the previous plans, but did you enjoy the opening 30 minutes of the show? And if so, is that Vince McMahon being justified for making those changes and making that decision remotely as the executive chairman of WWE? Let me know your thoughts, as always, in the comment section below when it comes to the opening of Monday Night Raw last night. Now, Logan Paul is going to be in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Despite not actually qualifying like everyone else, Logan Paul is going to be competing in the titular ladder match in London, England. Logan Paul will be officially competing in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. In a segment on Raw last night, Paul sat atop a ladder, announced he would be in the match at Money in the Bank on July 1st. During his promo, Paul promised to bring respect back to Cleveland by winning the match. After Paul's announcement, he was joined in the ring by 5 of the 6 other men he'll be facing against at Money in the Bank. That would be Ricochet, Shinsuke Nakamura, LA Knight, Santos Escobar, and Butch joined Paul in the ring before a brawl ensued that saw Paul stand tall. The only Money in the Bank competitor missing from the segment was Damian Priest. The men's Money in the Bank ladder match will mark Paul's 6th match with WWE, his last match taking place at WrestleMania 39. At WrestleMania, Paul faced off with Seth Rollins in a match that spawned from Paul eliminating Rollins at the Royal Rumble in the Royal Rumble match 2 months earlier. Rollins ultimately came out on top of Paul and went on to become the inaugural World Heavyweight Champion the following month. Now, as far as competing in the Money in the Bank ladder match, he has spoken about competing in the match, and Paul believes he's got no option but to win the match, especially after his antics and bold proclamations. Quote, "I gotta win," Paul told Byron Saxton after Monday's show. "I just cut a promo about this entire city, Cleveland, losing, and I'd like to win. I think I'd like a WWE Championship on my resume. I don't really like following the traditional path, so I'm going to take the shortcut, take that briefcase, cash it in, beat whoever I have to." Paul was asked if he felt any nerves when he sat on the edge of an 18-foot ladder and stared down his opponents and a sea of people. He said, quote, "Hell yeah," Paul responded. "I'm nervous. It's been a while since I was back, but I'm the Maverick dog. I like to fly, I like to perch high, and I like to jump. And I did it." Paul ended the interview with an F y'all message to his 6 opponents, followed by "I'm coming for that ass." As I mentioned, Paul will battle Damian Priest, Santos Escobar, LA Knight, Shinsuke Nakamura, Butch, and Ricochet for the elusive briefcase that will guarantee the winner a shot at a WWE title of their choosing. Previously, there was speculation that WWE was doing away from the 7-man format for the match and going with just 6 competitors this year. Of course, all that changed, though, when Paul was officially announced for the match on last night's show. As WWE nears the upcoming Money in the Bank event in London, England, the field for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match has taken shape, with Logan Paul being involved in it. But LA Knight, in his own, I guess, unique way, has shared his thoughts on the Maverick entering the match. He said, quote, "I think that'd be a very idea for him," Money in the Bank competitor LA Knight told Metro recently when asked about Paul's rumoured plan to get involved in the Money in the Bank match. "As much as he shined in all of his matches he's had so far," Knight continued, "he's going to find out it's not going to be quite the same shine this time around when I'm in the ring." So LA Knight says no Logan Paul for the match, but Logan Paul is going to be competing, and the question is he the favourite? Do you think Logan Paul could possibly win the men's Money in the Bank briefcase in London this year, or is it going to be someone else? And if so, who's it going to be? Let me know. Trish Stratus is also going to be competing in London, but in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. On July 1st in London, England, WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus will compete in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. And of all people, she has Becky Lynch to thank for that. Monday night on Raw, Stratus, with her protege Zoe Stark at ringside, took on Raquel Rodriguez in a Money in the Bank qualifying match. When things began breaking down, the man came around. At first, she set her sights on Stark, but Lynch also decked Stratus as well, ultimately costing Rodriguez the match via disqualification. Following the match and the unfortunate DQ finish, Lynch attempted to put a positive spin on the matter. She suggested that between Damage Control, Stark, and Stratus, she doesn't really have any friends heading into this match anyway. Therefore, if she's unable to climb the ladder to secure the briefcase, an achievement she's previously said would complete her career, then she promises to at least bring Stark and Stratus down with her. Currently, the women's field includes Damage Control's Bayley and Io Sky, as well as Zelina Vega, Stark, Lynch, and now Stratus. However, of course, Bayley is putting her spot on the line this Friday on SmackDown against Shotzi, so we could see a substitution in that match too. Now, last night saw a return on Monday Night Raw. It had been 9 long months since we last saw Tommaso Ciampa inside of a WWE ring. That way ended Monday night on Raw at the expense of The Miz. Seth Rollins kicked things off on Raw with the plans to host an open challenge for his World Heavyweight Championship, only to be interrupted, as we mentioned previously, and brutalized by Finn Balor. In the aftermath, the A-lister sounded his frustration, claiming that he was going to be the one to answer the visionary. Instead, he called for an open challenge of his own, and was at first pleasantly surprised to see Ciampa answer the call. Unfortunately for The Miz, it was not a friendly reunion, and after about 5 minutes, Ciampa scored his first victory on WWE programming since last August when he teamed up with The Miz to defeat AJ Styles and Bobby Lashley. For nearly the past year, Ciampa has been dealing with a hip injury, but he was backstage at Raw last month in Albany, New York. He didn't end up appearing at that evening, but it signaled that his return was indeed imminent, and there have even been hints that a reunion with his former tag team partner and bitter rival Johnny Gargano is on the cards. Last month, The Way, without past member Austin Theory, was reunited on Raw as Gargano, Candice LeRae, Dexter Lumis, and Indy Hartwell were selected by the Red Brand in the draft. During a backstage segment, Gargano appeared to reference Ciampa, quote, "And like I was saying, he's coming back soon, and I think it's going to be great," Gargano said. So possibly could we see Ciampa joining The Way? It must be said as well that when Tommaso Ciampa returned last night on Raw to answer that big open challenge, fans immediately noticed one thing. Ciampa had returned to using using his old entrance theme, No One Will Survive, which is a positive for him because the classics are always the best, aren't they? And that's really the black and gold version of Tommaso Ciampa we're getting on WWE TV. So that was a lot of fun to see. Welcome back, Tommaso Ciampa, indeed. And we mentioned there Johnny Gargano. In the lead-up to Monday's WWE Raw in Cleveland, Ohio, Johnny Gargano teased a homecoming and a return to WWE television, and his comeback seemed all but inevitable when his longtime tag team partner Tommaso Ciampa returned to WWE programming for the first time in nearly a year. However, Gargano never showed up on Raw, even as scores of fans at the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse started a Johnny Wrestling chant at one point on Monday's show. Later in the night, Gargano seemingly reacted to his WWE return not taking place this week, saying, quote, "I love you, Cleveland," Gargano wrote on Twitter. "You brought it all tonight. I also appreciate all the support I've seen out there. Love y'all." Now, Gargano has reportedly been dealing with a shoulder injury since a WWE house show last December, where he sustained a grade 2 AC sprain during a tag team match. Subsequently, Gargano returned for the 2023 Men's Royal Rumble match, but his injured shoulder actually reportedly worsened as he continued to compete in televised and non-televised matches. Thereafter, Gargano's shoulder was reportedly severely hampered during his brutal unsanctioned match against Grayson Waller at NXT Stand and Deliver on WrestleMania 39 weekend, forcing him to take a leave of absence from television once more. Gargano returned to Raw on May 16 to compete in the Intercontinental Championship #1 Contenders Battle Royal, the last instance of the veteran wrestler appearing in any WWE programming. It would appear he was written off television again to heal completely. Now that Ciampa has returned to WWE TV and Gargano is on the brink of doing the same, fans have suggested the possibility of a DIY reunion on the Raw brand. Gargano himself floated the idea earlier this year, suggesting that he and Ciampa had a lot of dream matches to look forward to on the main roster. So no Gargano last night. He may be coming back soon, but what would you like to see Johnny Gargano do if and when he does return to WWE TV? Would you like to see him team up once again with Tommaso Ciampa, or would you like to see him do something completely different? Let me know your thoughts about that. Big Swole, if you don't know, is married to Cedric Alexander, and she's not happy with Cedric Alexander's booking as well. Big Swole, the wife of Cedric Alexander, took to Twitter during Monday Night Raw last night to write, quote, "Ced and Shelton truly deserve and have earned more. The Hurt Business should have been back, Lord." The tweet came after Alexander and Shelton Benjamin lost in decisive fashion against Indus Sher. When one fan pointed out that all the fans were robbed from having seen a feud between the Hurt Business and the Bloodline, Swole responded, quote, "Like for real, that would have been prime." Despite protests from fans and seemingly talent alike, WWE did not reunite the Hurt Business in a more official capacity, despite teasing a reunion by showing the group meeting periodically in the background of other scenes. Any potential plan to reunite the faction on screen appears to have been scrapped completely for now, but Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin continue to team together. Despite their tag team together, they have lacked the on-screen dynamics with MVP and Bobby Lashley that fans adored during the pandemic era of WWE programming. So, do you agree with Big Swole, or is it a case of we have to move on from the Hurt Business? What are your thoughts about that? Finally, Gable Stevenson. Yes, well, he hasn't made his WWE actually in-ring debut just yet. He's appeared periodically on WWE television, but it looks like he could be going back to amateur wrestling. Olympic gold medalist and WWE prospect Gable Stevenson still has 1 year of NCAA eligibility left, and he intends to use it. According to Flow Wrestling, he's hopeful of returning to the mat next year after returning to freestyle competition earlier this spring. Since signing with WWE in September of 2021, Stevenson has done little of note in the company. He was drafted to Raw in 2021, but he did not make his first official appearance until WrestleMania 38 in April 2022. Last December, he appeared again, this time with fellow Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle on Angle's 54th birthday to celebrate by drowning Alpha Academy's Chad Gable and Otis in milk. All the while, he's been plugging away at the WWE Performance Center, hoping the powers that be will notice. For the first time since the Summer Olympics in Tokyo, Japan in 2021, Stevenson returned to the mat at the 2023 US Open Wrestling Championships, where he dominated and ultimately won the tournament. Additionally, he won the 2023 Final X, earning a spot at the 2023 World Wrestling Championships in September on behalf of the United States. Outside of WWE, the 23-year-old is an incredibly accomplished wrestler. Stevenson has won an Olympic gold medal as well as a Pan-American champion, two-time NCAA Division I national champion, and a three-time Big Big Ten Conference champion while representing the University of Minnesota. It remains to be seen when the impressive collegiate athlete will make his official WWE in-ring debut. For the time being, though, there doesn't appear to be much of a rush. So Gable Stevenson, no in-ring debut coming really anytime soon. But there you go, guys. That's the latest WWE news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.